Well, this video is where the run gets all sorts of fucked up. For those who missed the warning in the intro video, the first 20 or so seconds of Gates' first stage simultaneously shit on about half the so-called rules of this challenge. Specifically, I need to use weapons, parts, and a bloody armor just to get the parts. At the beginning of the stage are a series of impassable jumps lined with spikes, and I have two options to deal with this as far as X is concerned. Assemble an entire fucking new armor, or collect a couple of parts. Obviously the second option is more appealing, since it allows me to maintain unarmored X. The parts are necessary for the boss of that stage anyway, and assembling either armor is going to take about 6 bloody extra segments, since I need a slew of other shit just to get the components anyway. The first part is called the Hyper Dash. It speeds up as well as lengthens X's dash and wall jumps while shortening the dash on the ground. It's absolutely required, or dodging the Nightmare Mother's movement is impossible. Since the Reploid who has it is stashed away behind her own special bullshit, I'm only able to collect it in one of two ways. Either I can tank a hit, or I can use the Falcon armor. Since taking no hits is the largest fundamental difficulty of this run, and the Falcon armor is almost completely similar to unarmored X when you don't abuse its abilities, I feel it's the lesser evil, so to speak. I only use the air dash once, when it's required, and otherwise I play through this stage like I would with unarmored X. This is a lot of foolish justifying, I know, but at the end of the day, the simple fact is I need those two parts to beat that stage with unarmored X, no alternatives. And even besides all that nonsense, I need the Hyper Dash to get the jumper part even if I did use the Falcon armor when I go get the damned thing, so this never ends. In the end, what I try to approach this entire mess with is sacrificing the restrictions that matter least to preserve the ones that have the biggest effect. If it's any consolation, Shield Sheldon's nightmare effect made everything that just passed a colossal pain in the ass, since you need to keep in mind when it's going to appear at all times. That and this whole second section is one long elegy to Operation. Don't touch the fucking sides, especially not that one nightmarish stretch where you need to rub up against the purple enemies about 4 over-precise times in 5 seconds. Well, we collect the Hyper Dash, we curse the asshole who knew in advance we'd be coming for this thing after getting raped in Gates' lab, and so stuck it in the furthest fucking corner of a lawn stage, and we go face a fucking retard. See, and the hilarious thing is, we have no damn choice in the matter, since the designers decided to consider every secondary area an entirely new stage. This means we can't exit the thing until we kick Dynamo's sorry ass. I don't mean to cause any undue heart attacks by spoiling this, but Dynamo was an absolute joke. Again. The only thing even remotely troublesome about him in X5 was that the Giga Attack spacing was a little tricky. Thankfully he was kind enough to completely shit it up in X6, so it's dodged by kinda idly waltzing over to a wall when you're not feeling busy. On level 4, he actually gains one very, very nasty quality, which is that during the desperation move where he stands in the middle of the screen firing sabers at you, they stop in place instead of continuing off screen. This didn't seem like an issue when we saw it as one of his regular attacks, but when he has 8 or 9 sabers hugging the walls at the same time ready to fly back at him, it's a little more threatening. It would suck if we had to deal with that. And we don't. At all. So Dynamo's still a pansy. Why do I have to continue wasting breath on this? See you next segment.